In Islam, the afterlife is not a vague or mysterious concept. It is a deeply structured reality that forms a core tenet of faith. Life after death is described in vivid detail throughout the Quran and Hadith, offering believers both guidance and warning. Muslims are taught that this worldly life is merely a test, a temporary stop before the eternal abode in the hereafter. From the moment of death to the final judgment, Islam outlines an intricate journey for the soul. There are angels who record our deeds, a grave that can either be a garden from paradise or a pit from hell, and stages like Barzakh, the day of resurrection, and the ultimate judgment. These beliefs shape the ethical and spiritual practices of Muslims worldwide. In this video, we'll explore 100 profound facts about the afterlife in Islam, based on authentic sources. Each fact is more than just information. It is a reflection of divine wisdom, meant to transform hearts, awaken souls, and remind us of what truly lies ahead. Let's begin. Fact 1. The afterlife is one of the 6 pillars of Iman, faith. Belief in the afterlife, or Akhirah, is a fundamental part of Islamic faith. Without it, one's belief is incomplete. Muslims must believe in life after death, the resurrection, judgment, heaven, Jannah, and hell, Jahannam. This belief encourages accountability and reminds people that their actions in this life have eternal consequences. Fact 2. Death is not the end, but a transition. In Islam, death is viewed as a passage, not an end. It marks the soul's journey from this temporary world into the realm of eternity. The soul separates from the body and begins its experience in the grave, awaiting the day of judgment. Death is simply the door to the afterlife. Fact 3. The angel of death is named Azrael. According to Islamic tradition, Azrael is the angel responsible for taking souls at the time of death. He does so by the command of Allah. For the righteous, the process is gentle and peaceful. But for the wicked, it can be filled with pain and terror. His role is central in the soul's transition. Fact 4. The grave is the first stage of the afterlife. After burial, a person begins their afterlife in the grave. This phase is known as Barzakh, a barrier between the world and the hereafter. It can be a place of comfort and light for the believer, or one of darkness and torment for the disbeliever, depending on their deeds. Fact 5. 2 angels. Question the dead in the grave. Munkar and Nakir are 2 angels who visit every soul in the grave to ask 3 crucial questions. Who is your Lord? What is your religion? And who is your prophet? A believer will answer correctly and experience peace, while a disbeliever or hypocrite will fail and face punishment. Fact 6. Barzakh is a barrier between 2 worlds. Barzakh refers to the intermediate state between death and resurrection. It is a phase where the soul is fully conscious and aware of its fate. The righteous enjoy a window into paradise, while the wicked glimpse hell. Barzakh is a waiting period until the day of judgment arrives. Fact 7. The soul of a believer is taken gently. For a believer, the angel of death comes with angels bearing a sweet fragrance and white faces. The soul is taken out as smoothly as water flows from a jug. This ease is a sign of Allah's mercy and reward for a life lived in faith and righteousness. Fact 8. The soul of a disbeliever faces a harsh extraction. For the disbeliever or wicked soul, the angel of death is accompanied by angels with black faces. The soul is pulled out violently, like a thorny branch being yanked from wet wool. This painful extraction is a sign of punishment and a prelude to what awaits in the afterlife. Fact 9. The dead can hear the footsteps of the living. After burial, it is reported in Hadith that the deceased can hear the footsteps of those who walk away from the grave. This signifies the beginning of the soul's new reality and highlights the connection that still exists between the physical world and the afterlife during Barzakh. Fact 10. Good deeds provide comfort in the grave. The Prophet Muhammad said that a righteous person's good deeds will come in the form of a beautiful companion in the grave, providing comfort and light. This presence reassures the soul and reminds it of the reward that awaits, making the grave a peaceful place until resurrection. Fact 11. The grave can either expand or constrict. According to authentic hadith, a believer's grave expands as far as the eye can see, filled with light and comfort. But for the disbeliever or hypocrite, the grave becomes tight, constricting the ribs together. This physical experience is part of the soul's awareness and a preview of the eternal outcome to come. Fact 12. Angels record our deeds every day. Every human is assigned 2 angels, Kiraman Katibin, who write down every deed, good or bad. These records will be presented on the day of judgment. Every word uttered and every action taken is noted. Nothing escapes their recording, and their detailed scrolls become the evidence of our life. Fact 13. The Day of Judgment will last 50,000 years. The Quran describes the Day of Judgment as a day that will feel like 50,000 years. It is a day of immense fear, sweat, chaos, and waiting. For the righteous, however, this time will pass quickly and painlessly, while the sinners will feel the full weight of their waiting. Fact 14. Bodies will be resurrected from the earth. When the trumpet is blown by the angel Israfil, all humans who have ever lived will rise from their graves. Even if reduced to dust or buried in the sea, Allah will reconstruct their bodies, restoring every cell and bone, especially the tailbone, believed to be the seed of resurrection. Fact 15. Everyone will stand before Allah alone. On the day of judgment, every soul will stand alone before their Creator. There will be no translator, no lawyer, and no hiding. Each person will be questioned about their actions, their intentions, and their treatment of others. Even a mustard seed's worth of deed will be brought forth. Fact 16. The book of deeds will be given to each person. On Judgment Day, people will be handed their personal record of deeds. The righteous will receive it in their right hand with joy and pride, while the wicked will get it in their left hand or behind their back, full of shame and regret. This moment signifies their eternal destiny. Fact 17. There will be a scale to weigh deeds. A divine scale, called Al-Mizan, will weigh each person's deeds. Even the smallest action, like a smile or a kind word, will be placed on this scale. If the good outweighs the bad, a person is likely to enter paradise. The scale is a symbol of Allah's perfect justice. Fact 18. The Prophet will intercede for his followers. The Prophet Muhammad will be granted intercession, shafa'ah, by Allah to help believers enter paradise. This is a great honor granted only to him. He will plead for mercy for his ummah, and through his intercession, many people will be saved from punishment. Fact 19. There will be a bridge over hell called As-Sirat. All people must cross a narrow bridge over hell called As-Sirat. It is sharper than a sword and thinner than a hair. The righteous will cross with the speed of lightning, while the sinful may stumble or fall into hell. This crossing is one of the most terrifying events in the afterlife. Fact 20. Paradise has levels based on deeds. Jannah, paradise, is not a single place but consists of multiple levels. The higher the level, the greater the beauty, pleasure, and proximity to Allah. The best among the believers, such as the prophets, martyrs, and truthful ones, will be in the highest levels, enjoying nearness to their Lord. Fact 21. Hell has different levels of punishment. Just as paradise has levels of reward, hell, Jahannam, has levels of punishment, each more severe than the one above it. The worst torment is reserved for the hypocrites and disbelievers. The more a person rejected the truth or spread corruption, the deeper their descent into the fire. Fact 22. The first to be judged will be about prayer. The Prophet said the first thing a person will be judged for on the day of judgment is salah, prayer. If it is sound, the rest of the deeds will follow. If it is lacking, then all else may suffer. Prayer is the cornerstone of a Muslim's faith and practice. Fact 23. People will be raised with the ones they loved. One beautiful mercy of Allah is that on the day of resurrection, people will be grouped with those they loved, whether good or bad. That's why the Prophet advised to love righteous company. If you love the Prophet and his companions, you may be resurrected among them. Fact 24. The Quran will intercede for its reciters. Those who regularly recite and act upon the Quran will find it as an intercessor on the Day of Judgment. It will speak on behalf of the believer, arguing in their favor, asking Allah to forgive them and elevate their ranks in paradise. It becomes a living companion in the afterlife. Fact 25. Some people will enter paradise without judgment. A special group of believers, described in Hadith as 70,000 people or more, will enter paradise without any questioning or punishment. They are those who relied completely on Allah, avoided superstition, and never sought forbidden means of healing. Their pure tawakkul, trust in Allah, elevates them to this honor. Fact 26. Children who die young will be in paradise. In Islam, children who die before reaching the age of maturity are guaranteed paradise. Regardless of their parents' faith, the mercy of Allah covers them. These children may even intercede for their parents on the Day of Judgment, leading them to forgiveness and entry into Jannah. Fact 27. Martyrs are alive in the presence of their Lord. The Quran says, "Do not say those who are killed in the cause of Allah are dead. Rather, they are alive with their Lord, provided for." Martyrs, shuhada, are honored in the afterlife, skipping the torment of the grave and enjoying the blessings of paradise, even before the Day of Judgment. Fact 28. Hell will speak on the Day of Judgment. In a chilling hadith, it is said that hell will speak and complain to Allah, saying, "I am filled with the wicked." It will be given a voice, exhaling flames and roaring with rage. It will demand its share of the sinful, becoming a living testimony to divine justice. Fact 29. The light on the Day of Judgment will be based on deeds. On that terrifying day, some people will have light shining from their faces, hands, and feet, based on how much they use those parts in acts of worship. The more righteous the deeds, the greater the light, helping them see through the darkness and guiding them across the bridge to paradise. Fact 30. No one will enter paradise through deeds alone. The Prophet taught that no one will enter paradise solely because of their deeds, not even himself. Entry into Jannah is only by the mercy of Allah. However, righteous deeds are the means through which we seek and deserve that mercy. It's both effort and grace that lead us home. Fact 31. Sinners among believers may be punished first. Not all believers will go directly to paradise. Those with major sins may be punished in hell for a time, depending on Allah's judgment. However, they will eventually be removed from hell and placed in paradise, because their belief in Allah ensures they will not remain in hell forever. Fact 32. Paradise has rivers of milk, honey, and wine. The Quran describes rivers in paradise that flow with pure water, milk that never spoils, honey that is perfectly clarified, and wine that brings no intoxication. These symbolize endless pleasure and purity, far beyond human imagination, and reflect Allah's generosity to those who remain steadfast in faith. Fact 33. The fire of hell is 70 times hotter than earthly fire. The Prophet said that the fire of hell is 70 times hotter than the fire we know on earth. When the companions heard this, they were overwhelmed. This unimaginable intensity serves as a stern reminder of the consequences of ignoring divine guidance and mercy. Fact 34. People will regret wasted time and deeds. On the Day of Judgment, even the righteous will regret not doing more good. The disbelievers and sinners will feel the weight of their wasted time, begging for another chance. But once the soul reaches that stage, there are no do-overs. This life is the only chance we have. Fact 35. There will be a fountain called Al-Kawthar. Al-Kawthar is a special river or fountain gifted to the Prophet Muhammad. It is whiter than milk, colder than ice, and sweeter than honey. His followers will drink from it on the Day of Judgment. Those who innovated or strayed from his teachings, however, will be turned away. Fact 36. The last person to leave hell will be brought crawling. In a beautiful hadith, we're told that the last person to leave hell will crawl out, burned and broken. Allah will grant him a place in paradise, and he will think it's the highest reward. only to be gifted far more. It shows the vast mercy of the Creator, even for the most sinful believer. Fact 37. Some people's deeds will be worthless on that day. The Quran warns of people whose deeds will appear good in the world, but will hold no weight in the hereafter. These are those who did good for show, pride, or selfish reasons. Without sincerity, ikhlas, deeds are empty vessels with no value before Allah. Fact 38. Animals will also be resurrected. Even animals will be brought back on the day of judgment to receive justice. A hornless sheep will be compensated for the one that butted it. But after justice is served, animals will turn to dust. Upon seeing this, disbelievers will cry out, wishing they too could turn into dust. Fact 39. People will sweat according to their sins. The sun will come extremely close on the day of judgment, and people will sweat based on their deeds. Some will sweat up to their ankles, others to their waist, and some will drown in it. The righteous, however, will be shaded by Allah's mercy and protected from this torment. Fact 40. There will be a special shade from Allah. On that dreadful day, there will be no shade except the shade provided by Allah. 7 categories of people will be under it, including just rulers, youth who grew up worshiping Allah, and those whose hearts are attached to the masjid. Their piety will grant them comfort amidst chaos. Fact 41. A person's limbs will testify against them. On the day of judgment, a person's own body parts, hands, feet, eyes, and even skin, will testify about what they did in the world. They will speak the truth, even if the person denies their actions. This highlights that nothing is hidden from Allah, not even what we do in secret. Fact 42. People will be resurrected in the state they died in. According to Hadith, people will be raised on the day of judgment in the condition they were in when they died. A person who died in prayer will rise in prayer. A martyr will rise with the scent of musk. This reflects the spiritual state they carried into the next life. Fact 43. Hearts will be filled with terror on that day. The Quran describes that hearts will reach the throats out of fear and grief on the day of resurrection. Mothers will abandon their babies, and friends will flee from one another. It is a day of chaos and horror, except for those whose hearts were firm in faith. Fact 44. Every nation will follow its prophet. Every ummah, nation, will be gathered behind their prophet on the day of judgment. Each prophet will bear witness against their people, whether they obeyed or disobeyed the message. The final ummah, the nation of Prophet Muhammad, will be the largest and the last to be judged. Fact 45. Paradise is more beautiful than anything on earth. No eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no heart has imagined the pleasures of paradise. Its gardens, palaces, flowing rivers, and delights are beyond human comprehension. It is a place where pain, sadness, and death no longer exist, only eternal joy in the presence of Allah. Fact 46. Hell is a place of endless regret. Jahannam is filled with unimaginable suffering, boiling water, burning flames, scorching winds, and the feeling of despair. Its inhabitants will beg for death, but will never receive it. It is a place for those who rejected truth and harmed others, where regret will echo for eternity. Fact 47. The first to enter paradise will be the Prophet Muhammad. The gates of paradise will not open for anyone before the Prophet. He will be the first to knock, and the angel will say, "I have been ordered not to open it for anyone before you." He will then intercede for his ummah to follow him into Jannah. Fact 48. Hell has guardians called Zabaniya. The Quran describes fierce and stern angels called Zabaniya who guard hell. They do not show mercy and carry out the punishments of its inhabitants with precision and force. They are 19 in number, each appointed by Allah to control the affairs of the blazing fire. Fact 49. The deniers will ask to be returned to earth. Those who denied the truth will beg Allah to send them back to earth, promising to do good. But their pleas will be rejected because their words are lies. They had their chance in life and wasted it. The afterlife is not a place for second chances. It is the final reality. Fact 50. Sincere repentance can erase a lifetime of sins. Before death arrives, a person has the power to repent and erase even the gravest of sins. Allah's mercy is vast, and if a person turns back to Him sincerely, He promises to forgive. But once the soul reaches the throat in death, repentance is no longer accepted. Fact 51. Some people will have their faces shining brightly. On the day of judgment, the righteous will be distinguished by their radiant faces, glowing with light. This is a result of their wudu, ablution, prayers, and sincerity in worship. The Prophet will recognize his followers by this glow and welcome them to drink from his fountain, Al-Kawthar. Fact 52. The arrogant will be resurrected the size of ants. In a powerful hadith, the Prophet said that the arrogant will be raised on the day of judgment as small as ants in appearance but burdened by disgrace. Their pride in the world will turn into humiliation in the next life, a reminder of the value of humility. Fact 53. Each person will be paid in full for their deeds. Allah says in the Quran that not even the smallest act, whether good or bad, will go unrewarded or unpunished. Every soul will receive exactly what they earned, whether it be justice, mercy, or reward. The scales of judgment are perfectly balanced, and nothing escapes divine accounting. Fact 54. Jahannam has 7 gates. The Quran tells us that hell has 7 gates, each designated for a specific group of sinners. These include the hypocrites, idol worshippers, disbelievers, and others who spread corruption. The number of gates reflects the different degrees of punishment based on the severity and nature of sins. Fact 55. Martyrs will not feel the pain of death. Those who die as martyrs in the path of Allah are spared the agony of death. The Prophet said they feel no more pain than a pinch. Their souls are immediately taken to a green bird in paradise, where they roam freely, awaiting resurrection with honor. Fact 56. Some will cross the Sirat bridge like lightning. When crossing the Sirat bridge over hell, the righteous will pass with ease and speed. Some like wind, others like fast horses, and the best like a flash of lightning. Their speed is based on their deeds. Others will stumble and fall, caught by the flames below. Fact 57. Every soul will taste death. The Quran declares with certainty, every soul shall taste death. No matter how powerful, rich, or hidden a person may be, they cannot escape this truth. It is the beginning of the soul's real journey, where the illusions of this world fall away and only truth remains. Fact 58. People will be called by their names and their mothers. On the day of judgment, people will be called by their names and the names of their mothers, not fathers. This emphasizes the sacred bond of the womb and serves as a reminder of one's roots and identity. It is also used to avoid the pride some took in lineage. Fact 59. The most merciful will still punish justly. While Allah is Ar-Rahman, the most merciful, He is also Al-Adl, the most just. No one will be wronged on that day. His mercy may outweigh His wrath, but if a person deserves punishment, it will be carried out with absolute fairness after all proofs are exhausted. Fact 60. Those who hid their sins may be forgiven privately. For those who sinned but kept it private and repented, Allah may cover them on the day of judgment as He did in the world. The Prophet said that Allah will bring the believer close, screen him, and ask about his sins, but ultimately forgive him in private. Fact 61. Jannah has 8 gates. Paradise has 8 majestic gates, each reserved for a specific type of worshiper. One is for those who prayed regularly, another for those who fasted, one for those who gave charity, and so on. The most blessed will be invited to enter from any gate they wish, a sign of complete favor from Allah. Fact 62. The trumpet will be blown twice. The angel Israfil will blow the trumpet 2 times. The first blast will cause everything in the heavens and earth to die, except whom Allah wills. The second blast will bring every creation back to life for resurrection. These 2 moments mark the end of the world and the start of eternity. Fact 63. The earth will be changed before judgment begins. Before resurrection, the earth will be transformed. The Quran says, on the day when the earth will be changed to another earth, and the heavens as well, everything familiar will vanish. The ground will be flat with no landmarks, symbolizing a new stage where all creation stands equal before their Lord. Fact 64. Every nation will kneel on that day. The Quran describes a haunting scene where every nation will be seen kneeling, waiting for their record of deeds and judgment. This universal submission is a silent recognition of Allah's supreme authority. Even those who denied him will be forced to kneel in fear and awe. Fact 65. Hell will be brought forth with 70,000 reins. In a powerful hadith, the Prophet described that hell will be dragged forward on the day of judgment by 70,000 reins, with 70,000 angels holding each rein. Its roar will be heard from afar. This terrifying image illustrates the sheer scale and severity of Allah's punishment for the rebellious. Fact 66. Some people will melt from their sins. On the day of judgment, some people will be so ashamed of their sins that they will melt from the heat and guilt, wishing they could disappear. They will try to hide but find no shelter. Only those whose hearts were pure will find peace in that chaotic moment. Fact 67. People will be judged based on both intentions and actions. In Islam, actions are judged by intentions. A small deed done with sincerity can outweigh a large deed done for show. On the day of judgment, Allah will evaluate both what was done and why it was done. This reflects the depth and fairness of divine justice. Fact 68. Fasting will speak on behalf of the believer. In the afterlife, the act of fasting will take on a form and speak for the one who observed it. It will say, "O Lord, I kept him away from food and desire, so accept my intercession." It will be among the deeds that plead for mercy for the believer. Fact 69. Charity will be a shade over the believer. The Prophet said that on the day of judgment, a person's charity will act as a shade over them. In a time when the sun is unbearably close and people are drowning in sweat, generous giving in this life will become a personal umbrella of comfort and protection. Fact 70. The greatest joy in paradise is seeing Allah. The ultimate reward in paradise is not the gardens, rivers, or treasures. It is seeing the face of Allah. The believers will be granted this gift, and nothing will compare to the joy of that moment. All other delights will fade in significance next to this divine encounter. Fact 71. Allah will speak directly to some servants. On the day of judgment, Allah will speak directly to some individuals without any barrier or translator. This can be a moment of honor or terror, depending on the person's deeds. For the righteous, it will be a moment of nearness and joy. For the wicked, it will expose their guilt. Fact 72. The hypocrites will be in the lowest depth of hell. The Quran states that the hypocrites, those who pretended to be believers while hiding disbelief, will reside in the lowest depths of hell. Their betrayal of faith is considered more dangerous than open disbelief, and their punishment reflects the depth of their deception and the harm they caused. Fact 73. Every action will be shown visibly. On the day of judgment, people will see their deeds displayed before them, both good and evil. The Quran describes a person looking at their record and exclaiming, "What kind of book is this that leaves nothing out?" Not even the smallest whisper or step is forgotten or erased. Fact 74. Some people will be carried by their good deeds. Certain believers will be so blessed that their good deeds will carry them across the Sirat bridge or shade them from the heat. Their prayers, patience, and sincerity will become visible forces of support, leading them step by step toward eternal happiness and Allah's approval. Fact 75. There will be a pond for each prophet. Every prophet will have a pond on the day of judgment for their nation to drink from. The Prophet Muhammad's pond, Al-Kawthar, is the largest and most blessed. His followers will gather around it, and its water will quench their thirst forever. Those who abandoned his teachings will be turned away. Fact 76. The tongue will be a witness. A person's own tongue will testify against them on the day of judgment. Every insult, lie, backbite, or praise will be replayed. The mouth, which often caused the most harm, will either defend or condemn its owner. This highlights the great responsibility we have in how we use our words. Fact 77. some people will carry mountains of good deeds that turn to dust. The prophet warned of people who come with seemingly endless good deeds, but they are wiped away like dust in the wind because of hidden sins, arrogance, or hypocrisy. This shows that it's not just what you do that matters, but how and why you do it. Fact 78. The Quran will elevate its companions in paradise. Those who memorized the Quran and acted upon it will be honored in paradise. The Prophet said it will be said to them, "Recite and rise, for your rank is with the last verse you recite." Their position in paradise will reflect their relationship with the Quran in life. Fact 79. The grave will either be a garden or a pit. The Prophet described the grave as either a garden from the gardens of paradise or a pit from the pits of hell. The condition of the grave reflects the soul's outcome, serving as a preview of either bliss or torment. It reminds us that accountability begins the moment we die. Fact 80. Even a smile can tip the scale. Islam teaches that no good deed is insignificant. A kind word, a helpful hand, or even a smile can carry immense weight on the day of judgment. Sometimes the smallest act, done sincerely, will be the one that tips the scale in your favor and earns you eternal reward. Fact 81. Believers will recognize each other in paradise. In paradise, believers will be reunited with their loved ones, friends, and fellow believers. They will recognize each other and speak about their past lives, remembering how they were saved by Allah's mercy. The joy of reuniting in Jannah is a comfort for those who lost righteous loved ones in this life. Fact 82. Those who harmed others will have to repay them. On the day of judgment, those who oppressed or wronged others will be required to repay, not with money, but with their good deeds. If they run out, the sins of the oppressed will be placed upon them. This severe accounting is why the Prophet called it the Day of Recompense. Fact 83. Some people will regret even a laugh. People who mocked, ridiculed, or wasted time will regret even their laughter if it led them away from Allah. The Quran mentions that the disbelievers will cry out, "Woe to us! What did we do with our lives?" Even moments of joy can turn to grief if they were spent in heedlessness. Fact 84. Paradise contains what no eye has seen. Jannah is not limited to what we know on earth. Allah promises that its rewards contain things no eye has ever seen, no ear has heard, and no heart has imagined. This means even the best of earth's pleasures cannot compare to the majesty of what awaits in the hereafter. Fact 85. Hell is a living, breathing entity. The Quran and Hadith describe hell as a being that breathes, roars, and speaks. It will cry out in fury, demanding more sinners. Its breath will be felt by all creation, and its flames are alive, fueled by both stone and humans. It's not just a place, it's a force of divine justice. Fact 86. People will be judged in front of the whole creation. No deed will be hidden on the day of judgment. Every soul will be judged publicly, with all creation as witnesses. Even the skies, earth, and animals will bear witness. This global judgment will expose the true self of every person, stripping away the masks worn in life. Fact 87. Good character will be heavier than fasting and praying. The Prophet said that the heaviest thing on the scale of deeds will be good character. Kindness, patience, truthfulness, humility, and forgiveness may outweigh extra prayers or fasting. It shows that how we treat others is deeply valued by Allah and critical to our ultimate success. Fact 88. Some people will enter hell temporarily. Some Muslims who committed major sins may be sent to hell for a limited time as a purification, but they will not stay there forever. Eventually, Allah's mercy will remove them, and they will be placed in paradise. Their final destination is based on their belief, even if they failed in actions. Fact 89. Even the lightest deed can earn paradise. A man once removed a thorny branch from a path to avoid harming others, and Allah forgave all his sins. Another woman gave water to a thirsty dog and was granted paradise. These stories show that even the smallest deed, done with sincerity, can open the doors of eternal reward. Fact 90. Hell will be closed forever for the believers. Once the last believing soul is removed from hell, Allah will shut its gates forever. Those who enter paradise will never be removed, and those who remain in hell will dwell there eternally. For the righteous, this marks the end of fear, pain, and punishment, forever safe in divine mercy. Fact 91. Paradise has no illness, pain, or death. In Jannah, believers will live eternally without illness, aging, sadness, or death. The Prophet said that a caller will announce, "You shall live and never die. You shall be healthy and never fall sick. You shall be young and never grow old. You shall enjoy and never be sad." Fact 92. Hell will be sealed for eternity. After judgment, when all final destinations are decided, hell will be sealed shut upon its inhabitants. There will be no escape, no second chances, and no way out. The punishment is eternal for the disbelievers, an unending consequence for rejecting the truth while they had the chance. Fact 93. People will enter paradise in crowds. The Quran describes the righteous being led to paradise in crowds, greeted by angels with peace and honor. Gates will open, and the dwellers will enter as honored guests, welcomed for their patience, worship, and sincerity. It is a joyous reunion and celebration unlike anything in this life. Fact 94. People will forget every hardship after one moment in paradise. The Prophet said that a person who suffered the most in this world will be dipped once in paradise and asked, "Did you ever experience hardship?" They will say, "No, by Allah, I never did." One glimpse of Jannah erases every ounce of worldly pain and sorrow. Fact 95. Allah will laugh at the joy of the last person to enter paradise. The last person to enter paradise will think it's full, but Allah will tell him, "You will have the kingdom of the world and 10 times more." The man overjoyed and in disbelief will laugh, and Allah will laugh with him. It shows the intimacy and love between Creator and creation. Fact 96. No one will be wronged in the slightest. Allah promises that no soul will be treated unjustly on the day of judgment. Even a speck of good will be rewarded, and not a single wrong will be overlooked. His justice is perfect and absolute. No corruption, bias, or unfairness will taint his court. Fact 97. The people of paradise will never be jealous. All negative emotions will be removed from the hearts of those in Jannah. There will be no hatred, envy, or conflict. Only brotherhood and unity. People will sit together on thrones, smiling and content, with pure hearts and everlasting joy, enjoying the peace they once longed for. Fact 98. Hell will complain about its intensity. The Prophet said hell complained to Allah, saying, "Some parts of me consume the others." So Allah allowed it 2 breaths, one in summer and one in winter. The intensity of worldly heat and cold are said to be glimpses of these breaths. Hell itself cannot bear its own fury. Fact 99. A door between heaven and hell will exist. In the hereafter, there will be a barrier between paradise and hell. The Quran mentions Al-Araf, a high place where people will witness both sides. It is a place of suspense for some souls, while for others, it's a powerful reminder of what they were saved from or what they missed. Fact 100. Allah's mercy will prevail. Despite the severity of judgment and the clarity of justice, the most repeated attribute of Allah in the Quran is His mercy. He says, "My mercy prevails over my wrath." Even after everything, Allah will forgive multitudes, rescue souls from hell, and grant paradise to those who sincerely sought Him. The Islamic view of the afterlife is more than just a doctrine. It is a mirror reflecting how we should live every moment. The journey from the grave to resurrection, judgment, and finally to paradise or hell is not just about what happens after death, but a constant call to live with purpose, sincerity, and humility. These 100 facts remind us of Allah's ultimate justice, boundless mercy, and the unimaginable rewards prepared for those who believe and do righteous deeds. They also warn us of the real and terrifying consequences of heedlessness, arrogance, and injustice. The afterlife is not a fantasy, It is a reality more certain than the rising sun. Let us prepare for that day by purifying our hearts, helping others, and drawing closer to the one who holds our fate. May Allah grant us light in our graves, ease on the day of judgment, and eternal joy in paradise. Ameen.